You're listening to Life Check Yourself with life coach, transformational leader, and dating and relationship badass, Marni Batista. Every week, you'll get the raw truth from top experts and real people on the important life and love issues you want to know about. So, if you're ready to life check yourself in your relationships, your career, and the areas of your life that matter most to you, and you're not afraid to be called out on your, stuff, then you're ready for what's next.
Life Check Yourself with Bobbi Palmer. This drives quality men wild with desire. Ladies and any of you rando guys that are listening, welcome to Life Check Yourself. I'm super happy here to have one of my, I was going to say old friends, but then I feel like now that I'm in my mid 50s, you can't say old friends because then like we're older. And so we're not really old friends. We're dear friends. Dear friends. And she is literally one of the OG dating coaches in the industry. And I knew she was my soul sister when I first met her. And the name of her company is Date Like a Grownup, because really, it's really about being a grown-ass, authentic you. And she is here today to talk about some things that she has learned along the way the last, 15 years. How long have you been doing this? 15 years?
Almost 15.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Sorry.
Where did the time go? Okay.
You're talking about being old, and I've got 9 years on you. So
I know. No, we're not old. Fuck no. Okay. So let me just tell you a little bit about her. So if any of you were like, oh, it's too late for me, why am I still single? I just want you to know that Bobbi became a first-time bride at the age of 47. She said, see ya to the corporate world, and she founded her amazing company, Date Like a Grownup. And she wanted to help other women do what she did, which was find a great guy to share the rest of her life with. And she has this natural talent for teaching, and she just has the most huge heart, and she's so wise. And she has, as a result of that, really transformed the lives of so many women, moving them from not just dreading dating, but to joyfully finding not just a guy who really loves you deeply, but, and this is why she's such a perfect guest, to create that powerful self-love that is really the first thing we need to do. So I'm just so happy that you're here.
Me too. I'm always happy to see you.
Yeah.
Let's help people. Let's help.
I know. Let's help people. So one of the things that I really wanted to talk about is that it seems like the more we date in our life, the more relationships we have, the more years we have under our belt and experiences, it's really easy to end up creating patterns of behavior and thinking that ultimately take us further away from our goals. And it looks like self-sabotage. And I'm just, because I know that you work with women who are, they've been around and they have a lot of wisdom and they're really smart. And they want to be learning from the journey that they've been on, but they're not. So what are some of the actual tangible ways that you see women sabotaging themselves that they may not realize is self-sabotage?
Yeah. What happens is there's patterns that are created, right? Unless you break the pattern, you keep repeating it and you keep getting bad results, and you create this cycle. As you get bad results, you start getting hopeless. You start feeling maybe there's something wrong with me. You start thinking all men suck. All these stories start getting created, which, what's coming next, creates bad results. So even though, and a lot of women will tell me, no, I know when I go on a date, I'm conscious of this, and I'm
right.
present, and I'm this and that. But the fact is, this stuff just leaks all the hell over the place. It's icky, leaky, yucky stuff. And, the mistrust and the self esteem issues and all kinds of things. So that's, as time goes on and the older women get, and I coach women through their 70s, some of them, they're stuck in the cycle. right? They keep repeating the patterns, and it just makes everything worse and worse and worse. And it's truthfully, sometimes it's hard to break the cycles. I was there, like you said, I was 47
Right.
in therapy. At the time, there were no dating coaches, but it took me a lot of therapy to see myself and my patterns and how they were creating my results.
So it's really just about this idea of being courageous. So that being said, because this is what I see, and I want to know what you say to people about this. I get people who call us who listen to the show and maybe whatever age they are, and they're like, yeah, I really want this. And then when they get presented with the opportunity to actually really change something and put themselves out there, they're so scared that they're like, oh, okay, well, let me think about this. So what do you say to people who they're like, yeah, I really want a partner. And then when it comes to actually doing something different or breaking the patterns, they're like scared.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I call it like fear of fill in the blank, because there's like a multitude of things we can be scared of, and everyone has a little bit different. I'm sure you've heard, Marni, people saying, what if I really try and it doesn't work, right? Like, what if I sign up for your program or do your coaching or read, go through this seminar and it doesn't work? Then what am I going to do? You've heard that, right?
Yes.
And I did this for a long time. If I don't try really hard, then I can say that I know what's wrong. Right? Like, I haven't.
This is brilliant.
Then there's nothing wrong with me. It's not that all men suck. It's just that I just haven't gone that extra mile, and I'm kind of okay with that, because, being single is okay. And it's all about self-protection, and it's all about fear of whatever it is, right? Rejection, failure, repeating your same mistakes, and, being an idiot again. We've all been there.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I talk to my clients about kind of like this balance that they have to consider. And on one side, there's this like fear of everything, right? Fear of whatever's holding you back. And then on this side, there's the picture, there's the image, there's the experience in your head of what it would be like to be in a loving, respectful, intimate relationship, which that's a problem. A lot of women can't do that because they've never been anywhere near it.
Yeah. So that's such a good point, because when I ask people sometimes, so what would it feel like to be confident, right? Or to have self-love, or to date with your dignity, date like a girl, whatever it is, right? And they're like, I don't know, I've never even imagined it. And some of them get teary, and some of them are just like, oh God, that's scary. What do you say to someone who wants something but is in fear of fill in the blank? What do you say to them? How can we support them if they're listening?
Well, first of all, on an intellectual level, I say that, it's a little tagline-y, but there's nothing wrong with you. There's just some things you don't yet know. I mean, right? You've been repeating the same stuff over and over and getting shitty results. And so there's just some things you don't know. And the other thing is this balance thing is, you and I coach, people who are supporting them. We have to help them imagine this peace and what it would feel like, because I get it. Like, before I met Larry, I didn't know what I wanted really, because I'd never seen it. So when you can put this in some kind of visualization and words, and then, this is all the scary shit. And when it's time that this balance is a little heavier, when what you dream of and what that wonderful life would look like to you, when that gets a little heavier, that's when it's time to take action. It's never going
to be 100%. I think about this, there's something that we feel like, I feel like there's this knowing that says, like, I'm meant to have this experience. And not every woman has it. Like, I've talked to plenty of women of all ages, and they're literally like not interested, literally, right? And that's great for them, right? But for those of us who like, wait, I know that I'm meant to have this, that is like the seedling, I think, of that vision, right? Like, what if I water it? What if I'm courageous and I bring it out into the sunlight? And what if I'm like brave and I say, well, what is it that I don't know? Like, I'm willing to look at some stuff, right? Then that's like a little like fertilizer, right? And that's how you create that feeling inside of you, and you start to create that vision. Because I think what happens, and tell me what you think about this, is that most people do the opposite. They want to stomp on that little feeling and desire. They want to pretend it's not there. They want to like put rat poison in the dirt. Like, what's your experience been of that? And what is it that we do to take even that first step of like saying, I want to bring the soil back to life?
Yeah. I love how you do that. I love that. It's a perfect analogy, not metaphor, analogy. I went to school. The thing is to stop it is, I mean, you talk about courage, and that is so important. And it's so interesting, isn't it, that we have so much courage in the rest of our lives, right? We go after that job.
Yeah.
We go after that client, right? We travel to distant lands. We learn all these, like, we learn languages, or, right? I mean, even courage sometimes when you're like, you're not making any money and you got to like figure out how to make it. We've both been there. Figure out how to live joyfully. You figure that out. But this man thing, this partner thing, this love thing, there's a really awesome TED Talk that talks about the way we talk about falling in love and all of the different words that we use around that. And it implies this lack of self-control. It's a great TED Talk. I'll send it to you.
Yeah, I'd love to hear that.
We fall in love, like we can't help ourselves. And that's the scary stuff. So one thing to get you starting to think about, you know what, this isn't so scary, is think about all the other things you've accomplished that have been really freaking hard in your life. And you've done it. You've come out the other end of some really bad shit, and I'm cussing.
No, you can cuss. You can cuss.
Passionate. Oh, good. Okay. Think about the skills that you have and the knowledge that you have and the life experience that you have. And the only reason you're so scared in this part of your life is because all that crap you've heard for so many years about you should be scared, that it's not in your control, that it's the men have all the control, blah, blah, blah. It's no different than anything you've been scared of to do in your professional life, and you've done it. You've done it. You figured out how to do it.
Yeah, I always say, and I think I might have heard this, so I didn't hear this on TED Talk. That sounds so much smarter. I think I heard this from a Peloton instructor. Okay. But what she said was, you didn't come this far, and I can't remember, it might have been Kendall Toole if you're a Peloton person, but I think she said, you didn't come this far to only get this far. Right? And I love that, because it's like, wait a minute, like, why would I stop just short of something that I've gone to therapy, I got over my divorce or that breakup or a loss, or, putting my parents in a facility, like all these things, right? We're like fucking strong ass women, right? And then it's like, did we really come that far just to be like, okay, I'm too tired, right? Or I'm too afraid. Yeah. I interviewed, I'll probably talk about this for the rest of my life because it was so poignant. I interviewed Rabbi Steve Leder for the show when he wrote this book. He sat at the deathbed of 1,000 people because he's a rabbi, right? Like that's his job. And he said, he said one person in 1,000 said, I wish I would have worked harder. Yeah. Right. The rest talked about, did they live this full out life? And what he learned from those conversations, and the way he described it, is, I want to live my life like I'm running the bases and it's like the bottom of the ninth and I want to win the game. And he's like, so I'm going to keep going. The ball might, it might be like getting ready to be caught, right? But I'm going to keep running. And he said, and then I want to slide into my casket like it's fourth base. And I might be battered and I might have some wounds and I might have some scars, right? but I want to know that I just freaking sailed in and I live my life full. And that, I love that. Is that an analogy too?
Yeah.
Or is that a metaphor?
No,
Okay.
it's a metaphor. It's
A metaphor. Okay. Because that's what I want for people, like wherever you are in your life, whether you're 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, whatever it is, that like, you're not done.
Yeah.
You're not done. And if there's something inside of you, like, what do you need to give yourself permission to believe or do or think to allow yourself to pour a little water, or give some sunshine to a dream that you have.
Right.
So I don't know what you think about that, but so why do you think it's not too late? However old you are.
Because it's not. I mean, are you dead? You know, I've got a 76-year-old client, and I have to be honest, it's really tough for her because she is a very successful, independent woman, which is not really common for her age. And the men she's meeting are very old-fashioned, you know, telling her that her lipstick isn't the right color and trying to control her and nurse her purse stuff and blah, blah, blah. But she's out there, you know, she's online, she's meeting men. Most of them are very nice, some of them are schmucks. And it's not too late. It's just a fact. It's not. And 15 years, I've been helping women over 40 find really great partners. I have another client that I've had. She was one of my early clients. She's now 77 and he's 82. And she just had her 5th bout of cancer. And I talked to her yesterday. They become very good friends. Every time her husband's like, I love you, Bobbi. You introduced me to Karen.
Wait, I met Karen.
You met Karen, right?
I met Karen. Norman. Oh my God. I know them.
They're doing great, but she's been sick and he's like by her side. Like, and I think about if she didn't, and it took her courage for sure, and fixing her man picker to find this lovely man. But, you know, there's examples like that where if you don't do it, and especially for those of us who are older, this time in life is a really good time to be looking for love and the right partner. You're so much smarter. You're going to learn some new things from us. And the men have learned things too. And even though the 76-year-old, for instance, is meeting some schmoes, she's also meeting some really nice guys. She's going to she is determined.
Right. Because she's using that determination that she had in her career, right? Whatever it is that made her successful, right? And enjoying the process.
She's like, I was the top salesperson at Pitney Bowes for X amount of years. And she's like, this will not be something I can't do. She's relentless. But I want to go backwards for a minute, if it's okay. You mentioned that there are women that don't want this. And I totally agree with that. Also, and there are women who have convinced themselves they don't want it.
Yes.
And I get it because the it that they imagine is the it that they've had in the past. So when you look back at those cycles, the cycles include making really bad choices in men because you don't think you deserve it, or you just don't understand men well enough, or you don't have your boundaries set or whatever. And so you've made all these bad choices. So you think, yeah, hell yeah, why would I want a partner? Because you're not doing that piece that's missing, which is what a good partner would look like. So I do believe there are some women that, you know, they're great single. They're great single and they're okay for the rest of their life that way. I think a lot though, like myself, I lived decades believing I don't need no stinking man. And I was just kidding myself. That was protection, blah, blah, blah.
I love that. I love that. So last weekend, and for those of you who don't know, my husband and I have been doing this radical living challenge. And so we're in year 2 and we're doing like slow travel nomad life. And last weekend we were in Byron Bay, Australia, and it was Saturday night and we ate some dinner and we were like, let's take a walk on the beach, like on the boardwalk on the beach, no sand in the toes at night for me. But we were walking on this little beach path and it was Saturday night and the stars were out and you could hear the ocean. And we were just walking down this pathway and I was just overwhelmed because I looked behind me and I looked in front of me And if I'm making you sad, I mean to. All I saw were couples of all ages just walking down the path, and every single one was holding hands. Every single one was holding hands. And I thought about all of you. And I thought, like, when people say, like, I want to share my life with someone, it doesn't have to be that you're going to Byron Bay, Australia, or Mexico, or any place exotic. It's that I'm walking on a Saturday after a meal, holding hands with somebody, whether I'm 25 or 80, you know? And that's what and it's so possible. And I'm saying that because if I did make you a little sad, then that means it's still alive inside of you.
Right. That's right.
Right.
Stop that out of the mistaken man stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Your life and having a person is really, really important. Okay. Before we end, I want to talk about, how do we, so we've nurtured the seed, we sunshine and water, and now we're like, okay, I'm committed. I'm going to do something. So how do I stay open? What does open look like? Because you said when women go on dates and they think they're being open, because some people who are listening might say, Bobbi and Marni, like, I'm in it. I believe you, like, yay, thank you. But I'm doing it and I'm being open, but like, it's still not working. So if you were going to say to someone, what is like the checklist, or how do you really know if you're being open and authentic with men and you're in your feminine? Like, how do you know if you're doing that, or if it's just that you think you're doing that?
We have another 2 hours, right?
I know.
I think one of the most important clues to oneself is, are you trying to control the situation? That's what just closes us down completely. You agree? It's a biggie.
I think, like, if you could write down one word that would be the reason why I'm leaking, is I'm trying to control the situation.
Yeah.
Even if I don't realize it.
Yeah. And that shows up in like so many different ways. Trying to figure out what the guy's thinking, trying to figure out if he likes you, trying to watch for what's wrong, right? These are all, by the way, ways to self-sabotage and sort of, I call it your wallop, I dare you, like all these ways to like figure out how to control it so you don't get hurt. That's the bottom line. So he likes you and he chooses you, even if you don't give a shit about him, or you don't make the wrong decision again. So that control piece is really good when you let go of that, and you could just be like you are with your girlfriends or your family, if you happen to love them, if you like them, and where you're just in the moment, and you're just you, and that's all you need to be with men. If you could possibly get to that point and stop that overthinking and that control type thing, and trying to figure everything out, you will show up so much more not just feminine, because I know, but authentic. And men respond to that. Men respond, good men that are looking for relationship, respond to a woman who shows up being real, not trying to control and not trying to be fake and not trying to twist like a pretzel. I can say so much more, but
I think that, and it's like, there's this softer edge, right? And so I think if you're listening and you're like, homework, like, rewind and just listen to that list. If you're making a checklist of, am I doing this or am I not? And give yourself an honest assessment, don't rank yourself too harshly, but also be honest. Or ask a trusted source or anyone who is going to give you that feedback, because that is where the courage starts, is to do that honest self-assessment, right? Of like, if I give myself permission to think that it's not online dating, or it's not my area, or it's not that I'm too much or too little or too whatever, and I go, what are the things? Okay, so here's what I love. If you want to be in control of the one thing you can control, yourself.
Exactly.
Be in control of yourself. Woo-hoo, we gave you a free pass. And then look at like, okay, well then, if I were going to give myself like a performance plan with loving heart and self-compassion, right? Just because I want to know so I can grow, then look at yourself and then say like, well, then where are some areas that I could grow. Or I'm so inside the jar that I can't even read the label, right? Like I'm so far inside and I just don't know because I think I've done everything and I wear a dress and I'm feminine and I go to therapy. I don't know. I'm in the label. I can't see the label from inside the jar. Then be open and curious to being, giving yourself permission to receive that information, let it come through. Because I think the wall of I dare you is even internal. What do you think about that? Right? Like,
we create it. And I know we don't have much time, but can I do one more quick thing?
Please.
So I do this exercise with my clients. I used to do this exercise with my clients, and it's pretty simple. You close your eyes, imagine yourself with people that you love and trust, friends, family, whatever, in a place, in an environment that you feel comfortable in. Just sort of step outside yourself and watch yourself with them and write down some of your behavior. What are some of your thoughts? What's your body language? Just that kind of thing. Okay. And then maybe an hour later, imagine yourself on a first date with a guy you think is hot and you're interested in. Observe yourself. Observe, what are you thinking? What are you feeling? What's going on in your head, your body language, right? And write that down. And when you look at those two things, 99% of the time, women are going to see two different people. You're going to see this woman who's open and sharing and listening and actively present and right and physically comfortable and open in her body language. And then you're going to see that woman who's sitting across the table from a guy totally different. That woman,
I love that.
That first woman that your friends love and your family loves, even with all the shit that's wrong with you, because we all have that, she's the one you need to get the courage to bring out. And once you do, you'll find out that's who men want. That's who the right men are going to be attracted to. It's in words, it's so easy, right, Marni? It's like, just be yourself, but it's so hard.
It's so hard to do. It's so hard.
Through the crap that tells you not to do that.
And I will say, because I think that's such a great, amazing exercise, is that, and then the tension between those two things, that's where you create your intention. You're like, cool. The first thing we talked about is so many women don't know what they want or what it's supposed to look like. Okay, well, there's the first intention, that I show up as myself like this, right? When I'm dating, just start there, right? Like that is a great first step to take. So, so thank you for being here. You're amazing. And you're brilliant. I love how we like take all our stuff and we like put it together and then it's like fireworks. It's amazing. So as part of Bobbi creating her amazing life with her partner, she is in the end of Date Like a Grown-Up and in the retiring sort of phase of her adventure. And we are super excited because she has sort of said to her clients like, hey, date like a grown-up is just dating with dignity. So come on over. So I'm super excited for any of you that are in Bobbi's tribe, like welcome to our family and our community. We're super happy to have you here. Is there anything else that you want to say before we kind of do our sign off and our next steps?
I just want to say it's not as hard as you think. Again, I got married at 47 and I've watched hundreds and hundreds of women find men at all different ages. And if you kind of stop pushing and sort of just go like this and just go, you'll find that just learning some new stuff is all you need. And courage.
And courage. Yeah. Stuff and courage. I love it. I was going to make courage and stuff into one word like benefer, but I couldn't do it because I'm better at metaphors and analogies.
I do want to say, I do want to say also that Marni, you're right. Dating with dignity and the way that you teach women and help women and so forth is so aligned. It took me months to sort of figure out what to do with my tribe. I didn't want to just leave them. without support. And I'm excited about this. I know you're going to be really helpful to them.
Oh, yay. I love that. So by the way, also, I've stepped into TikTok because I learned it wasn't just for dancing teenagers. And I was doing some hashtag research the other day, and I learned there are more single women over 50 on TikTok than single women over 30 or single women over 40 that are going on TikTok and searching for information about dating and being over 50. Yeah. And so I'm there. So come find me, Dating with Dignity, on TikTok and of course on Instagram. And if you're listening to this when we recorded it in early 2023, we'd love to have you at our Ignite Your Life 3-day retreat where you can learn some new stuff. Where if you can't read the label from inside the jar, we'll just peel it off and show it to you. And we'll teach you how to date with dignity and like a grown-up. And it's going to be a really fun 3 days. And magic is going to happen there. So if that's something you're interested in, make sure you check out the show notes, of course, and find us on all these different platforms. Bobbi, thank you so much for being here. So do you have like a parting gift that you can give to anyone who's listening to this episode? I know the info is in the show notes, but tell everybody about it.
Seriously, it's so important based on what we're talking about today. It's called, I have a program called Dump Your Love Junk. So all these fears, all this stuff that we have in our way of just being out there, open-hearted and getting out there fearlessly. That's a 14-day, it's just 14-day program. And it really is going to help you get past some of this junk that has been holding you back. So it's a start. Ignite Your Life is much deeper, but this 14-day program, and it's just $97. It's a really great way to really sort of jumpstart yourself.
I love that. That's amazing.
Open for what's next.
Perfect. So that link is in the show notes. You have so many options for yourselves of the new stuff that you learned here. And now what are you going to do with it? So like if it were me, like hit a little rewind, take some notes. I know some of you are driving at the gym, make a little note in your phone and be in action. Because as I say every damn week, all that matters is that you life check yourself. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye for now. Hey, thanks for tuning into today's show. So if being in an intimate relationship in which you feel 100% seen, heard, and accepted by a high caliber man is a priority for you right now, and you're interested in seeing if you're a fit for working with me and my team at Dating with Dignity, here's what I want you to do. Just head over to DWD VIP, that's D as in dating, W, D as in dating, VIP.com, and book a call to speak with my team. We'll get on the phone with you for about 60 minutes and you'll get crystal clear on what's stopping you from finding true love right now. We'll also take a look at what you want to create, what you want your whole life to look like when you're able to finally be fully expressed as a woman in a healthy relationship with an incredible guy. And if we can help you get from where you are right now to where you want to be, we will show you the fastest path possible that makes sense for you to do that. We help smart, successful women all over the world solve this one missing piece in their life so they can finally have it all. So to see if we can help you do the same thing, head over to DWDVIP.com. I'm Marni Batista, and let's talk soon.